that were cancelled.
Iron Man.
Several studios have tried to make an Iron Man movie since the early 90s, but none of them were successful at making one. It was only when Marvel teamed up with Paramount that an Iron Man movie was made. It turned out to be a smashing hit, and Iron Man became the biggest superhero to have ever existed. But before 2008, it was really tough to get an Iron Man film off the ground. Here are all the Iron Man movies that were cancelled. Stuart Gordon's Iron Man. Back in 1990, Universal Studios picked up the movie rights for Iron Man. RoboCop writer Ed Neumeyer was hired along with director Stuart Gordon. RoboCop was proof that Neumeyer and director Gordon could have delivered a gritty and grounded Iron Man movie. In the film, we would have seen an older Tony Stark coming out of his retirement. But Universal didn't have faith in the property after so many comic movies had bombed. So, this Iron Man movie never went past the pre-production stage. Tom Cruise's Iron Man. Long before Tom Cruise was a contender for MCU's Iron Man, he almost played the character in the late 90s. Fox had acquired Iron Man's movie rights from Universal in 1996. Jeff Mintar and Stan Lee wrote a script that included Tony Stark, MODOK, and AIM. In 1997, Nicolas Cage felt like he could play Iron Man, but things didn't pan out. In 1998, Tom Cruise became interested in the project, but again, it didn't work out. Ultimately, when Tom Cruise became a strong contender for MCU's Iron Man, he left as he wanted more creative control. New Line Cinema's Iron Man. After Fox, New Line Cinema got the character, and under them, 3 to 4 scripts were written for the film. One of them included a Nick Fury cameo setting up his own solo film.
I have bigger problems than you in the Southwest region to deal with.
The second script had the conventional battle between Tony and the Mandarin. And the third script had Howard Stark teaming up with Justin Hammer to go up against Iron Man and War Machine. Ultimately, New Line Cinema was able to hire Nick Cassavetes as director, but by then it was too late. The rights of Iron Man had reverted back to Marvel Studios. War Machine. Don Cheadle revealed that a War Machine movie was in works. It would have taken place between Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. The story would have seen Rhodey struggling to find balance between his duties as an Air Force officer and a superhero. Ultimately, the plans were cancelled and Rhodey got a different story arc in Iron Man 3. Well, he may not have got a solo movie, but he might get a solo Disney Plus series. Rhodey could mentor a young Riri Williams and retire after becoming Vice President James Rhodes. Honorable mention, Iron Man 4. And Iron Man 4 was never really planned. Any other studio would have gone for it, but Marvel made a daring decision to explore other characters.